the NHRA Quaker State Northstar Nationals. Speeds in excess of 275 miles an hour, covering the quarter-mile distance in less than 6 seconds. Drag racing from the NHRA. The championship trail of NHRA drag racing crisscrosses the United States and Canada, stopping in 14 major event locations throughout the year. Today, we are in Brainerd, Minnesota, about 3 hours drive north of the Twin Cities of Minneapolis-St. Paul. The state slogan, Land of 10,000 Lakes, is most evident in the tranquil area around Brainerd. Carved out of the wooded countryside, Brainerd International Raceway plays host to a number of major motorsports events on both its drag strip and world-renowned road course. 1 year ago, Big Daddy Don Garlits took another step forward in his successful quest of the NHRA World Championship title when he won the Top Fuel event at the Northstar Nationals. His competition was to have been Dick LaHaye, but mechanical problems kept LaHaye away, and Garlits made an easy single for the win. As one of drag racing's most durable and popular stars, Tom McEwen won his second race of 1986 when he prevailed in the final round at the Northstar Nationals. Racing against Ed McCulloch, McEwen in the near lane easily outdistanced his rival for the championship. The race at Brainerd a year ago was another mark in the win column of the Pro Stock champion. Bob Glidden, on his way to an unprecedented 7th World Championship, put his Ford Thunderbird on the line against Bruce Allen's Chevy Camaro. The outcome was obvious from the start. Glidden the winner, and eventually the world champion. Hello, everybody. I'm Dave McClelland. A huge crowd is jammed into Brainerd International Raceway for the 6th annual Quaker State Northstar Nationals. A longtime Top Fuel veteran has debuted his new car. For the details, here's Steve Evans.
Dave, the rumors that Big Daddy Don Garlits might finally debut his brand new Swamp Rat 31 here at Brainerd proved to be true. And here it is in all its splendor. Now, at first examination, it looks a lot like Swamp Rat 30 that was recently retired to the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. Closer examination, though, there are some aerodynamic differences. You see these vents here. They're on either side. They help evacuate air from under the front end, ground effects, if you will, creating some downforce to help keep the front tires on the pavement. There's also a lower body lip for the same reason, to create a certain amount of downforce. Now, back here, just forward of the cockpit, Don has finally installed an onboard computer. He calls it Michael, just because he likes its name. And so far, he and Michael have a good relationship. He says he is learning a lot. Now, the rest of the changes are pretty subtle. The engine is located a bit differently, and the chassis has some tubes that weren't in the old car, but you can't really see those. Unfortunately for Don, in round number 1, he was disappointed. He faced off with his rival from Florida, Darrell Gwynn. They both left the starting line very hard. About 100 feet out, the new car blazed the tires. Well, Don Garlits had hoped to be able to put a few more laps in this car, not only to win a few more rounds, but also to get it sorted out for the races to come, but it just blazed the tires.
Yeah, it needs more clutch.
Needs more clutch. Usually when they smoke the tires.
I know, it needs more clutch. That's the only thing we know is more clutch.
To get it to launch harder, quicker?
Launch harder. We got to get the reaction time down. We got to get the 60-foot time down. Needs more clutch.
Did you get enough evaluation on this car to know whether you're pleased with it as it sits?
I'm very pleased with the car. I mean, the computer's giving me all kinds of information. And I'm getting the engine to come around. I mean, it's got some power now.
Sorry to see out, Ramon.
Yeah, the way it goes.
For those of you who may not be aware of the subtlety of Don Garlits, he was kidding about more clutch. The car had enough to rotate the earth. The real story in round number 1 earlier today, the number of upsets. First of all, it was Gary Ormsby, the low qualifier, new track record holder. He fell to Shirley Muldowney, the pink car victorious, 5:42, her best performance of this event. But the big upset concerned Joe Amato. Leading the Winston World Championship points chase, he's won 2 events, has not been eliminated earlier than the semis. Well, in round number 1, he lost by 1/100th of a second. A 5:34 to a 5:35. The win light went to Gene Snow. I talked to Joe about it. Joe Amato, you know, after what I saw in the first round, that bike is the only thing you're going to be riding in the rest of the day.
Yeah, it wasn't too fun, Steve, losing like that. You know, Gene Snow kind of laid one on us, you know, 5:34 to a 5:35. That was a good race, but no fun for the points, you know.
First time you've gone out in the initial round this season, and it couldn't have happened really at a worse time because you're getting pressure from LaHaye and Glenn for that matter.
First time in a year, actually. It was this race last year we lost first round, so I guess this place hasn't been lucky for us.
And as I remember last year, you threw the car away after it did that.
Yeah, we're not going to throw this one away. This car has World Championship written on it. Hopefully we can regroup from this race and come on for the next 5 or 6 races and do better.
Well, Joe Amato hoped that the upsets continued in round number 1, particularly when it came to Dick LaHaye, but that was not to be. Not only did Dick LaHaye win, but he set the all-time track record at 5.22 seconds, and he knows he can seize on an opportunity today. You want to see the face of a happy man? Not only did Joe Amato, who's leading the points, go out round 1, but now Dick LaHaye has posted low elapsed time, 5:22.
Well, I'll tell you, Steve, we came in here with a brand new engine, and you know, we've got our record-holding engine in the trailer for a spare, and it run 5:17. We've got another one that run 2 5:24s, and now we've got this one that just run 5:22 in top speed. And this year is just out of control. I don't know any other way to explain it.
This is the opportunity you've needed to get Amato out early.
Well, you know, we didn't qualify number 1 here, and we had some strategy that we could reach him in the semifinal round, and as it turned out, we're not going to meet him in the semifinal, so I guess it's our chance to make a move on this thing.
It is indeed. See you round 2.
Thank you, Steve.
Funny car round 1 was just the opposite of Top Fuel. No upsets there. All the quick guys survived. Kenny Bernstein, Mark Oswald, John Force, Billy Meyer. They'll all see action in round 2 today. Pro Stock, well, the Bob Glidden rampage continues. His Ford Thunderbird, a brand new track record, 7:49, and he got to arch rival Butchville in the first round, putting that Pontiac away.
After threatening skies earlier today, the sun is breaking through the clouds, making for a beautiful racing day as we join the action in round number 2 of Top Fuel Eliminator. 3-time world champion, Shirley Muldowney. Shirley sorting out her difficulties after a slow start earlier this season, paired against Frank Bradley. 2 veteran drivers, neither in the winner's circle for several years. The win advantage going to Shirley by a wide margin. She has a total of 17 victories to her credit. Bradley has 2. Bradley, driving the Newman Farm Specials, made it to the final round earlier this season at the Mile High Nationals in Denver. Shirley, at the wheel of the Performance Automotive Wholesale car, was last in the winner's circle at the 1983 World Finals. The burnouts completed. Now both Bradley and Muldowney concentrating on the start. With only a quarter of a mile of racing distance, there is little or no margin for mistakes. Both drivers will be trying to gain whatever advantage possible off the starting line. The 2 cars approaching the line. Invisible infrared light beams stretch across the track, and as the front wheels roll into those beams, signal lights at the top of the starting device, the Christmas tree, are lit. The final move forward. Both cars are into the staged and ready position. Starter Buster Couch sends them on their way. Bradley with a bit of an advantage. It's Shirley Muldowney drives around him at the finish line to win the race. Shirley Muldowney defeating Frank Bradley. Let's look again in slow motion. Off the starting line, Bradley has the advantage. He continues to extend that lead and holds it at half track. But then the power of Shirley Muldowney's car begins to make the difference, and that difference was proven at the finish line.
Shirley Muldowney goes to the semifinals, and you're going to like these numbers, a 5:38.270.
Wow, I'm excited about that, 270. I think that people like to see 70s.
You know, you were in that lane that some people didn't have a lot of confidence in. Your guys had it just right.
We wanted the right lane. We think it's good. You know, well, I think both lanes are good, but right lane was obviously a little better. I was going to shift it a little sooner, and then he kind of walked up on me, and I think I better leave it in there a little bit longer.
The Quaker State Northstar Nationals brought to you by Goodyear. The Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, no matter how far you go, Goodyear takes you home. And by Fram Bendix Auto Life, which are all quality products of Allied Automotive. And by Quaker State Motor Oil. New Quaker State with QSX keeps your engine cleaner to last longer. Dan Pastorini up next as Top Fuel continues.